My new EP comes out in 2 days. Why am I making a video about this? I just watched this video from like 2015, the little dirty facts one. I'm seeing as the whole like 2009, 2019 things happening. It would just be a crime not to do this again. So here we are. Here are some stories from my childhood, me as a kid. Everyone has weird things that they did as a kid. I very much enjoyed looking back at the comments of the other ones, so please feel free to share the weird things you did as a child. When I was little, I took swimming lessons, like a lot of other little kids. At the end of swimming, my mum would take me and my brother to get washed in the showers and changed. Now, my mum is a very thorough washer, and she would make sure that we would wash our private bits. In the changing room, there were those pushy shower things. You'd push the button, it would run as you would wash. What my mum would do is she'd push the button, and I'd like go full crab and just like quickly wash my areas and then move on. Now, this one time, I do not know where my mother was. She was not around. But because I'd been raised to wash properly in all areas, I had to wash my areas without the help of my mother pressing the button. So I asked a random stranger. I tapped a lady. I must have been about 4 or 5 years old. I was like, "Excuse me, would you mind pressing the button for me?" She was like, "Oh, sure, of course." What a polite young girl. Press the button. Down I went. Into crab. Full on eye contact. Washed my area. I remember this woman like pissing herself laughing, like looking around like, "What's this child doing?" And I was like, "I'm just washing my areas, man." Another story, including my wonderful mother. We were in some kind of big shopping field, maybe like Lakeside or whatever. I must have been, I don't know, maybe like 9 or 10. My mum left me by a Build-A-Bear shop. She was like, "Stay here while I go and do something." And for some reason, I took that as, "Go forth, make a bear." I'd been very excited about this because I'd never done it before. So I went through the process of making my own teddy bear. If you don't know what this process is, it's a very intimate, personal, magical experience, or at least it is when you're a child. You choose your bear. It is not full of life yet. You move along. You pick up a little heart, you kiss it, make a wish on it, and you place it inside the bear to move on to the next process of filling the bear. At this point, my mum came back and said, "What you doing?" And I was like, I'm making a bear, Mum. I made a wish and everything. This, my heart, my soul is in this bear." I was like, "We don't have time. We have to go. I can't afford this. It's very expensive." I still remember my mum leading me out the shop, my carcass of a bear with my wish heart inside. I'm like, "Goodbye, goodbye." I tried to be a big girl, but my bottom lip started to quiver, and I was like, "My bear." When I was a kid, I loved nothing more than on late night car journeys, sitting in the backseat and looking out the car window. If it was raining, that was even better. The street lights would go by, and I'd look out and manage to squeeze tears out my eyes and pretend that I was in a music video. Which is so weird, because I literally did that exact thing for my own music video. For 6 out of 10, I had to like cry and look out the car window, which was not as fun as I always thought it would be. It was actually kind of traumatic. It was like I had to cry for a good 6 hours. One of my favourite games was pretending that play parks or playgrounds were where I live, in true like MTV Crib style, which I've never seen. "Hey, come in, this is where I live, welcome to my home. If you'll just mind going down the slide to get to the room with the giant balls, don't ask me why I have this." Another favourite game of mine was to pretend that I was in a video game and I was a character and I was being controlled. I liked to play alone in the playground, or maybe I had no friends. Either, I mean, one kind of makes the other happen. I'd like walk around and bang into walls, and I must have looked so weird. Another game I would play in my bedtime fantasy would be that I was the only kid in my class, in my school, with magical powers, and I'd live in the back of the classroom, and everyone would be like, "Where's magical Dodie?" And I'd like float my way up because I could fly. I'd be like, "Hi everyone," and everyone would be like, "Hi Dodie." And then there'd be a disaster outside, like maybe there was a giant monster, or like the building was falling down. I'd have to go outside and use my powers to save everyone, and I'd use up all my energy until I nearly died, and everyone would be like, "Oh no, save her, quick! Get her back to her tent in the back of the classroom to recharge her." I'd be so weak, and they'd carry me back and lay me in my tent. I'd be like, "Ugh, leave me, I'm okay." Some like child psychologist is gonna look into this and be like, interesting. I'd love to listen to ABBA and the song "Money, Money, Money," that one. There was a line in it that was like, "I'd play around and have a ball," or something. Thing is, I didn't know what to have a ball meant. I thought it meant to have a ball. So I'd be like, "Have a ball," like bouncing my imaginary basketball, like, "I have a ball, guys, I'd be so rich." I'd have sleepovers with my best friend at the time, in which we'd watch films such as 13 Going on 30 and Chicago, the musical. And this one time, we really wanted to have a midnight snack. midnight feast. We went downstairs and we were terrified we were going to get in trouble. Placed so many treats on this plate, this giant platter, like Baby Bells and, I don't know, chocolate fingers. And then her mum came in and we were like, hello. She was like, what are you doing? We were like, having a midnight feast. So scared we were going to get told off. And then she went, oh, well, I've got some extra biscuits in the cupboard. And we were like, ah! Bless. My goal is to be that mum. In year 7, that's when I was like 11, I broke my nose. I think I got hit in the face with a rounder's ball. They're kind of very hard. I went crack. I went, ugh. And then I looked up and my hands were covered in blood. And then I had big green circles under my eyes for a while. When I was in year 8, so I was like 12, we visited a Hindu temple. I became obsessed with candles. So I'd ask for candles from everyone and have them all in my room. Except I didn't tell anyone, but I was obsessed with like fire. I was one of those kids, and I'd like melt the wax and like make my fingerprints in them. And then I started like setting tissues on fire. It was not very safe. Then this one time, the one that ended everything, I was playing with the matches and set tissue on fire, and it skidded across to my wardrobe, and the wardrobe caught fire, and I just went fuck and like blew as hard as I could, and thankfully it went out. But needless to say, after that, I threw all my candles away. Also, growing up, I took karate lessons. Got to a blue belt, if you know what that means. I guess it was for self-defense. But yeah, I was like strong. I'm not now. The only thing that stuck with me was attack by using your hand and palm and like shoving it in their nose, like going like, because it like blinds them and then they can't see and then you can run away. Also, we had monkey bars in my primary school. I was like hench. I could like do tricks on that and shit. I could like pull around. I had such upper body strength. Not anymore. I am so weak. My dad used to read us a lot of science fiction for bedtime stories, and so on my walls I had loads of glow up planets and stars, and also like posters of the lunar landing and stuff. That was actually how I got myself to cry when I was in the 6 out of 10 shoot in the taxi, because they were like rocking it to make it look like I was moving, and I pretended it was my dad reading me a bedtime story, because for the rocket launches in the story he used to like jump on the bed and make it shake, so me and my top bunk would be like, oh, we're launching. Me and my brother made up a game called Frankie, in which we'd stand upright at the end of mum and dad's bed, say the word Frankie in the most silly voice we could, and then fall to match whatever character that may be. And it was like a competition to do the funniest one. We would do this for hours. I can't imagine being that entertained by something now that isn't my phone for so long. That's upsetting. Another thing me and my brother would do would be to iron mum's bed. I had like this toy plastic iron, and we would like smooth out every damn crease on her bed sheets. Like literally like, so it was like the flattest bed sheets in the entire world. We were like, fuck, mum's gonna love this. Mum, come here, come, let me take you by the hand. Mum, trust us, you're gonna love this. She'd be like, oh, what? Ooh. We'd like lead her into the bedroom and be like, ta-da. Whoa, guys, thank you. My bed is so smooth. And we'd be like, you're welcome. And finally, my granddad is Polish, and he was a chef. He would feed us food that we weren't used to. I remember walking into the kitchen, my granddad was like, here, try this. And I ate it. I was like, what was this piece of ham? And he was like, no, that was ox tongue. There you go. I'll leave you with that. Like I said at the beginning, my EP comes out in 2 days. It's very exciting. Pre-order it if you haven't already, or just listen when it comes out. Okay. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.